You there? Yes, you, your lollipop. Do you know what quality of life means? Well, the QOL Breath Assessment defines it as individuals' perceptions of their position in life in the context of the culture and value systems in which they live, and in relation to their goals, expectations, standards, and concerns. You know what else QOL Breath does? Assess for a person's perception of their quality of life. That's crazy, right? It defines quality of life and assesses it. Who knew an assessment could do such a thing? Now, my fine friend, you may ask, who would want to use this assessment? Well, let me tell you, many professions can utilize this assessment, and a recreational therapist is a wonderful example. Why? Because recreational therapists often look at the quality of life of their individuals, and you know what that means. An assessment is needed. In order to know what an RT needs to work on with an individual, or know if a program is beneficial, a baseline is needed. How does one get a baseline? Through an assessment. And what better way to get a baseline for an individual's quality of life than to do the QOL Breath Assessment with easy, straightforward questions that are answered based on a scale of 1 to 5. The QOL Breath is good for anyone. Not to mention the scoring is user-friendly with just a little bit of instructions to help you along. It can even be self-administered. It's also available in 19 different languages. Now you may ask, what is QOL Breath? Why was the QOL Breath created? For that, we're going to have to go back to the original QOL 100. QOL 100 was designed to measure individuals' perception of their own quality of life and be applicable cross-culturally at the same time. However, the QOL 100, despite its attempts, is not as practical as it wants to be. So thus the QOL Breath was created. The QOL Breath was developed by using data from the field trial version of the QOL 100. The QOL Breath has only 26 questions, with only one question from each of the 24 domains. That's comprehensive. Well now, we can't forget about those last two questions now, can we? The last two questions are from the overall quality of life and general health facets. The QOL Breath can be separated into 4 separate domains: physical, psychological, social relationships, and environment. Now, what do those mean, you might ask? Domain, such a wacky word. But don't worry, I will explain. Starting with the physical domain. The physical domain looks at how a person physically feels and how satisfied they are in their daily life. This includes things like work capacity, ability to sleep, energy levels, or pain and discomfort. Now moving on to the psychological domain. The psychological domain looks at how someone feels about themselves and their life. This includes things like self-esteem, religion, bodily image, and positive or negative feelings. Now let's head over to the social relationships domain. The social relationship domain looks at how people feel about their relationships with others. This includes things like personal relationships, social support, and sexual activity. Now let's move over to the environmental domain. The environmental domain looks at how a person feels about their environment and what kind of resources they have available to them. This includes things like freedom, physical safety, healthcare, transport, and opportunities. The assessment was created so that a measurement of life beyond the disease or not system could extend to all areas of human life. Also, so foreign entities outside of America and Canada could apply it more easily. The first step was to create a meaning of quality of life cross-culturally. This is related to their goals, expectations, standards, and concerns. Secondly, 15 cross-cultural centers simplified it into sections or facets of life. Each of the 15 found 6 facets individually. These included the role of the family, perception of time, perception of self, and the dominant religion. Thirdly, a global pool was made for each center's questions. Each center had 300 respondents. 236 items covering 29 facets were included in the final assessment. Fourthly, after field testing, 100 items were selected for inclusion. 24 facets have been grouped into 4 domains: physical health, psychological, social relationships, and environment. When it comes to scoring and administration, we've made it simple and straightforward. The main scores are positively scaled, allowing for easy interpretation, and detailed instructions are provided for data cleaning and score calculation, ensuring accuracy in assessment. The QOL Breath scoring is 2 separate items that also assess overall perceptions of quality of life and health. The main scores are positively scaled so that high scores indicate good quality of life. Mean scores for each domain are multiplied by 4 to be in line with QOL 100 scores. The QOL Breath should be self-administered if respondents have sufficient ability. Otherwise, interviewer-assisted or interview-administered forms will be used. Standardized instructions, given on the second page of the QOL Breath example assessment, should be read out to respondents in instances where the assessment is interviewer-administered. The main scores are scaled in a positive direction. The mean score of items within each domain is used to calculate the domain score. Mean scores are then multiplied by 4 in order to make domain scores comparable with the scores used in the QOL 100. Now here, we got the reliability of internal consistencies, which was above 0.80 for all domains and above 0.70 for most facets in a recent study we did, which, what you know, is good because we wanted reliability over 0.70. Reliability analysis showed all 6 domains had alpha coefficients exceeding 0.80, indicating strong internal consistency. Test reliability over a 2-week period among 45 veterans revealed mostly high SECs, but the social domain exhibited less stable results. The results were gathered from the intake of 250 homeless veterans. Now, for validity here, and there's a couple parts that go into that. One being content validity, which has a value of or equals 0.39 to 0.65 with a confidence of P less than 0.01, which means they are very confident in their results. Another part of this is that criterion-related validity of or equals 0.28 to 0.65 with confidence of P less than 0.05.